First off, let me tell you that this is definitely not an overnight success story. That's what you see all over social media sites like Instagram and Facebook. I wrote this and woke up famous. No, this is real. This is raw. And let's keep it honest, a year ago, I'd have laughed in someone's face if they told me that I'd be able to write this article for you today. Yeah, because a year ago, hey, I had no money. Not like I had no money to spend, but rather like no inkling of how to pay the bills on time either month. My bank account looked pitiful with the credit card maxed to capacity and me working a job barely above paying for basic needs. Yeah, sounds about right. That's where this starts. Hey, I remember sitting in my small apartment, looking at my computer screen late at night, browsing through success stories, which really left me feeling inspired and frustrated all at once. Everyone else had it together, and I was nowhere to be found. But something shifted in me that night. I realized that I was waiting for permission to succeed. I was waiting for the right moment, the right idea, the right set of circumstances. And you know what? That moment never comes. You create it for yourself. The first thing I changed was my attitude. Yeah, I know. Attitude is something everybody always goes on about like it's the solution to all their problems. But listen to me for a minute. I trained myself to stop thinking like a broke person and think like someone living the life but on their way to even more riches. I changed the kinds of questions I asked myself. Why is this happening to me? Change to what can I learn from this situation? I can't afford this change to how can I afford this? Then I got brutally honest with myself. Oh, I started listing down every expense I had incurred. And I mean every expense. That daily cup of coffee. I wrote it down. The Netflix bill. It was there. The late night food ordering. All of it. And when I started listing it down, I was shocked to see the numbers staring back at me. There were expenses which were providing me temporary high, but no long-term benefit. So I started cutting out the fat. Now, I am not saying that I started living like a monk, but I started doing everything with purpose, including every expense. I started asking myself with every expense whether it was going to take me closer to my goal. But you can only cut costs so much. You cannot save your way to riches. You need to earn more. A lot more. Most people are stuck right there because they figure they need some kind of revolutionary brainstorm, or that the only way they can succeed is if they were born rich to wealthy parents. Let me think. What was I good at? What did people need me to do that I did well? What was I better at doing than most people? As for me, the thing was writing and the understanding of social media. Well, nothing complicated. I had been writing for years as an avocation, and I had been spending way too much time on both Instagram and Twitter. However, instead of viewing them as the sources of wasted time, I recognized the fact that they might be valuable skills. Many small businesses had a problem with managing social media. They required people who could write their captions or posts. The thing that no one told me was that your initial customers will not come from the fancy marketing campaign you put together. Your customers will come from people you know. I asked everyone I knew, my family and friends, old work pals, the person I met at a coffee shop one time, and I told them what I was working on and asked if they knew a business owner who might be able to use what I was offering. This felt a bit awkward at first. I felt like I was bothering people. But the thing is, people will want to help you if you let them and you are clear about what you need. My first client was worth $200 for taking care of their Instagram account for 1 month. Hey, $200. I was overjoyed. Of course, it was just $200, but it showed me one thing. People were willing to pay for my talent. That was just my first client, and I had several more. Word of mouth goes a long way when you're putting out quality work. I gave every single one of my clients my undivided attention. However, I did not stop there. As I was developing my business of managing social media accounts, I was learning. Every single day, I was watching videos on YouTube, taking free online courses, reading articles, and participating in forums. I was obsessed with improving. The best thing about this learning, most of this learning was free of charge. We live in an era where one can acquire knowledge for almost free. All one has to invest is time. After 3 months, I was earning $3,000 a month from managing social media accounts. This was an improvement from my previous employment. However, I was not satisfied yet. I began to assess my clients' needs. They did not require assistance with their social media marketing. They required content. Blog posts, email marketing, newsletters, webpage content. I decided to expand my business. I learned copywriting. I studied the art of making people click, buy, and trust a brand. However, this is a very valuable lesson that you must learn. You must be on the lookout at all times to see how you can serve your clientele in a bigger and better way. Wow. People will naturally be drawn to you. You will be invaluable to them, and they will be happy to pay you top dollar rate. I began to charge $500 for a single sales page, then $1,000. $2,000, and they were happy to pay it to me because they were getting back many times what they paid in results. I started delegating work to the first contractor I hired. This was downright frightening. How could they produce low-quality work? How might my clients react to it if they didn't like it? How might I lose money as a result? But I did it anyway. I looked for a good writer who was working for lower rates, and I taught them my system. First, I had to put a lot of time into checking their work and correcting it. Game changer. I wasn't trading time for dollars anymore. I'm building a system. In the first year, I hired another contractor. Then another. Then another. Templates, processes, and systems were developed that made it so that everything the people I hired did was just as good as the work that came from me. My work evolved from delivering the work to overseeing the people and seeking out clients. Well, my income doubled from $6,000 a month to $10,000, then $15,000. But let me be real with you. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I made mistakes. Big ones. I hired the wrong team and ended up terminating contracts. I lost clients because I promised the world, but failed to deliver. There were months where I worked 20-hour days and barely made a profit because of the rising expenses. There were nights where I questioned it all. Nights where I wanted to quit everything and get a regular job where I wouldn't have to think twice about payroll and problematic clients. It was remembering where I began that kept me going. Every time I wanted to quit, I looked at my bank account. And I looked at the work I had done. I thought about the freedom that I was working towards, because that was what all of this was about. It wasn't about making money. It's about the freedom to do what I want, the freedom to choose what I do with my time, the freedom to say no to a project that I don't feel like working on. The freedom to take a random Tuesday off. Well, it was around the 8th month that I found something remarkable. Passive income. Until then, every dollar that passed through my hands had been the result of my active labor. I had to provide a service to collect the dollars. I had ideas about making money while I slept. I knew this sounded like one of those scams people pitch on the street corner, but this is the honest truth. No, I put together an intangible product. It was just a tutorial that would help the average small business owner write compelling social media blurbs. It took 2 weeks to finish, and I charged people $47. I really wasn't expecting much. Just a couple sales scattered about. But I shared it to my list, shared it on some social media sites, and something incredible occurred. Oh. People bought it. No effort on my part, mind you. Just me promoting it. Then me going to bed or working on client projects or binging Netflix episodes. And these people are buying my diet. It wasn't exactly money that would change my life right away. More like $500 a month, maybe. But it was proof of concepts, man. Proof that I could create something and then sell it over and over. Oh. Wow. So I went ahead to create another product. And another. I packaged them all together. I also made a mini course. Every single one of them relied on the previous ones. Every one of them increased my passive income. By the 10th month, my passive income was chugging along at approximately $2,000 a month. My service business was adding up to more than $20,000 a month. Let me do the math for you, because at the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. So, based on the social media management and the copywriting that I was doing, I was raking in, on average, $18,000 a month. Now, that's not to say that each month was the same, but that was the average. Then, based on the online products, I was making, conservatively, $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Multiply that by 12, and I was raking in well over $200,000 a year. Now, that's not profit. That's revenue. And, trust me, I had expenses. Contractors, software, taxes, business expenses. At the end of the day, I cleared a profit of around $120,000 a year. And I reached my goal. And then some. However, here's the thing that I learned from the experience. The money was incredible. It really changed my life. I was able to pay off my debts. I moved to a better apartment. I was able to buy a dependable car. However, the greatest change took place within me. I transformed from someone who waited for opportunities to someone who could make their own. Someone who finished what they started. Someone who believed in themselves and won. So, what are the actual steps? How can you do this too? Well, to begin, you need to define your goal. A goal, such as I want to make more money, is not specific. You need to write down a specific amount of money involving a specific period of time. My goal was $100,000 in 1 year. No! I wrote it down and placed it in a place where I would see it every day. Second, you need to audit your current situation. What are you spending your money on? What are you earning? What skills do you possess? What things do people ask you for help with? Don't overestimate your skills, but don't underestimate yourself either. You are capable of doing more than you think you can. And third, choose to concentrate on one thing. One. Wow. Not 10 things. Or no one. Too many of the people I see who are trying to start a business are attempting to start 5 businesses simultaneously. Why? because they succeed in none of them. Choose a service, choose a product, and commit to it entirely. Become the best at it. Make it the best. Start with the one. Fourth, take imperfect action. And stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Your website does not have to be perfect, nor does your service have to be revolutionary. You simply need to start. Reach out to that first possible customer today, not tomorrow. Today, send that email. Make that phone call. Post that promotion. Taking action clears up confusion. You will find out more about what works by catering to one real customer than in half a year of planning. Fifth, deliver insane value. No matter what you charge your clients, deliver tenfold on that. Give your clients the deal of the lifetime. That does two things. It will bring you back clients in the future, and it will bring you referrals. Referrals are your most powerful form of advertising, especially when you are just starting out. 6. Invest in yourself. Learn things, read books, find mentors, join communities. You can only raise your income so high as your own growth. I invested thousands in education in the last year, and let me tell you, that was the best investment. Every skill you gain raises your income. Every problem you solve makes you invaluable. 7th, systems building. Trading time for dollars should cease as soon as systems can be built. The thing of greatest value that you own is your time. Guard it fiercely. Everything that can be done by other people or by a system should be delegated or automated. 8th, don't quit, even when things get tough. And they will. There may be times of doubt. There may be times of failure. There may be times when you question everything. It is a part of the process, but it is a part of the person who is successful and unsuccessful. And it is a part of the person who just doesn't show up. The 9th step is to track everything. I kept records on my earnings, expenses, feedback, what I did that worked, what didn't. And it was incredibly valuable. I could see trends, what I should and shouldn't be doing. Analyzing something you're not tracking isn't as productive as tracking something you're not doing yet, or something you could improve. You'll want a basic spreadsheet program and track your figures weekly. 10th, recognize the small victories. Getting your first dollar online is an incredible experience. Getting your first client is an amazing experience. Reaching the first $1,000 month is something to celebrate. Don't wait until you achieve the big goal to celebrate yourself, because you are capable of achieving great things. And this helps you remember that you are indeed taking progress despite the slowness that you are experiencing. Let me tackle a couple of the common complaints I hear. I don't have the skills to succeed in the gig economy. Of course you do. You just need to think of a different name for it. Instead of sky's the limit, it's more like sky's the minimum. Instead of thinking of a job as something I have to do, think of it as something I get to do. The market is just too saturated. Good. That means it is in demand. When I began to offer my expertise in social media management, I was competing with thousands of people who were doing the same thing. But not one of those people was me. None of those people had my voice. But I don't have time. I understand. You're working a full-time job. You have family commitments. You're exhausted. The reality is, you do have time. You're merely not choosing to use it. When I began this process, I was also working a full-time job. I cut my sleep back by 2 hours. I worked on the weekends. Hey, I also passed up social gatherings that weren't in line with my long-term plans. It was sucky. Don't get me wrong. It was temporary. 6 months of suckage for a lifetime of liberty? That's a plea bargain I take in an instant. But what if I fail? You will. Several times. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success. Wow. Every successful person you have ever heard of has failed more times than you will even attempt. The key isn't whether you will fail. The key is what you will do when you fail. Will you quit or will you try again? But there is something very important I would like to share with you from this entire experience. The key to making money is not something you do not know, but something you can only be proud of when you achieve it. The solution of a problem. Every single dollar you make comes from the solution to a problem you created for someone else or for yourself. The larger the problem you solve, the higher the amount of money you make, and the more people you solve the problem for, the higher the amount of money you make. Small business owners faced a problem. They did not know how to leverage social media properly. I provided a solution to that problem. They paid me for that service. Later, another problem emerged. Individuals were not aware of how to write effective captions. I provided a solution to that problem as well, which was a product that people paid for. Simple and not easy are two different concepts. Simple implies that it is straight and easy to understand. Not easy implies that it requires effort. I also learned the value of community. I joined online communities to network with other entrepreneurs. I found mentors in people who had done what I was attempting to do. I networked with people at a similar place in their entrepreneurial journey. These were all forms of community that were worth every penny. I found new clients through referrals in these communities. The other important aspect that influenced me was the relationship I had with money. I had to overcome many limiting beliefs. For example, I grew up hearing that money doesn't grow on trees or that rich people are greedy. Such beliefs were restricting me. I had to rewire my brain to make me see money not as evil or scarce. I began to make super efficient affirmations of new optimistic beliefs about money. I analyze people who have money and who use it for good purposes. Having money enables me to help many people, not a few. In addition to this, I started to control the finances that I earned. In the beginning, everything that I earned got spent. I deserve to spend all this money because of the hard work that I have been putting in. But this habit caused me to stagnate. To change this habit, I decided to use the 50-30-20 rule in my business. This means that 50% of what I earn goes back into the business as investment and as business spending. 30% goes to me as pay. 20% goes into savings and investment. Another thing that I learned the hard way is tax planning. During my first year in business, I didn't put aside as much money as I should have, so I ended up getting hit with a huge tax bill. Ouch. Now I have an accountant who advises me on ways to reduce my taxes legally and make sure that I'm always ready. You should definitely hire an accountant if you are making money, even if you are self-employed. It pays for itself 10 times over. One thing that also worked well for me was boundary setting. I used to work around the clock when I first started. I used to answer their emails late at night and answer their calls during weekends. I thought that was good service. Well, it isn't. It is a guarantee that you would burn out. I learned how to set boundaries, how to say no when I need to, and that boundaries make you look more professional, not less. I have also invested in equipment and tools which have ensured that I have an easier life. There are project management tools for the purpose of task management. And there are scheduling tools to enable customers to schedule calls rather than necessitate emails back and forth. I have used accounting software to enable the management of bills and expenditures. Everyone knows that time is money, and these tools have helped me save time and reduce expenses by an amount equivalent to the cost of the tool. Marketing was something I was afraid of at first. Hey. I'm not a marketer. I'm not a salesman. I dislike being pushy. However, I learned that marketing is not about being pushy. It is about visibility. I posted updates on my accounts. I provided valuable content. I interacted with my followers in an authentic way. I did not pitch in every update. I offered much more than I asked. When I asked, they were prepared to buy since they already knew, liked, and trusted me. Email marketing was one of the most potent tools for me. I began to set up my email list from day one. All my clients, all my followers, everybody I met, I connected with them and invited them to join my list. And every week I emailed them tips, stories, and sometimes promotions. It was my best business property. Whenever a product was launched, I had 1,000 people to notify about it in an instant. Social media is rented land. Email is owned land. Another thing I struggled with was pricing. I was afraid to charge what I was worth. I thought people would not pay. So I charged low and felt mad about it. Then I charged higher prices, and something magical happened. Clients who couldn't afford the higher prices left, and quality clients flowed in. Clients who appreciated the quality of my work. Clients who did not negotiate or complain. Clients who were delightful to work with. Competition is not on price. Competition is on value. I learned how to make myself sound like a specialist, not a product. Instead of saying I do social media management, I could say I help small business owners grow their audience and attract dream clients via social media marketing. Do you see what I did there? This statement is not generic. It talks about a specific outcome. Instead of buying a service, people buy results. People buy transformation. People buy outcome. Talk to the person who wants the outcome. Well, imposter syndrome was definitely true in this case. And even though I'm earning money and delivering excellent results to clients, there was always the sense that a fraud was about to be caught. How did overcoming imposter syndrome work for me? By concentrating on the results delivered and not comparing yourself is the key. Your clients are delivering results in your favor. Their businesses are flourishing. These are the things that served as enough evidence that you are indeed capable. And you just realize that there are people who don't know everything. Networking sounds like just another buzzword in the corporate world. But it's very real. I did online conferences, masterminds, and reached out to people I admired. Not with the intention of asking for favors, but to develop genuine relationships. Of course, some of those relationships developed into partnerships, referrals, and lifelong friends. Your network's your net worth, as they say. Content creation was a long-term game for me. I began blogging online, sharing posts on LinkedIn and sharing stories on Instagram. None of the stuff went viral easily. This was okay with me. Viral sensations aren't exactly the goal when creating online content for the long game. Every piece of content is an online asset capable of attracting clients well into the future. I maintain a blogging effort with posts from the beginning of my journey online and continue to drive clients into my business with these posts. The mentality change that worked for me. I stopped considering myself an employee and began considering myself a business owner. Employees think about hours. Business owners think about value. Employees wait for instructions. Business owners take action. Employees exchange time for money. Business owners invest in assets. Oh, this changes everything about how I work. From being a job holder to an entrepreneur, resilience was challenged repeatedly. There were months where clients left in droves, where my income significantly decreased, where I even questioned if this was all worth it. But I continued on anyway. I learned and adapted and pivoted. Clients came and went, and I improved with every mistake, learning what not to do and how not to do it. The business that exists now is better because of this. I also learned the importance of saying no to way. No to clients who weren't right for my business. No to projects which didn't support my own goals. No to situations which overwhelmed my already thin schedule. The truth is, every yes comes with a no. By learning to say no to the non-nos in my life, it made room in my life for the right yeses. My health and wellness were no longer negotiable. Initially, I cut back on sleep, exercise, and social interactions to give more time to work. This backfired. I felt ill. I felt terrible. I understood the futility of burning out when it would not help me achieve the results I needed to get. This time, when I worked shorter hours but managed to give myself more priority, believe it or not, my productivity as well as earnings went up. Gratitude surprised me. I am grateful that every morning I committed to write down 3 things that I was thankful for. This helped me stay earth. For example, it helped me realize how far I had come, and it kept my eyes on what I had, not what I didn't have. Just because something is new age, it is not true. The transition from $0 to $100,000, however, was not linear. It was messy. There were some months when I earned $15,000. There were some months when I earned $5,000. The trajectory, however, was upward. And that, mark you, is what matters. It's progress, not perfection, that counts. It's consistency and not intensity. It's the long game, not the quick fix. Yet, if I could go back and tell the younger version of myself one thing, it would be this. Start this thing already. Stop analyzing so much. Stop waiting for the green light, and stop putting it off because you don't have the perfect thing yet. Take the ideas and knowledge you have and make an offer. Solve a problem for someone. Charge them for it. Repeat. Well, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever that you'll figure it out. I'd remind myself to enjoy the ride. And #X20. I got so caught up in what I wanted to achieve that I forgot to enjoy the process. And #X20. I forgot to enjoy the ride because every step of the way, it has also altered the way that I view myself. I am no longer the kind of person who will settle for the limitations of life. I am the kind of person who makes possibility. I am no longer the kind of person who will wait for an opportunity. I am the kind of person who will build one. I am no longer the kind of person who will dream of the possibilities of life. I am someone who is actively pursuing the possibilities of life. This isn't the end of my story. It is only the beginning. Now my sights are on 500,000, 1 million, Not because I need more money, but because I love the game. I love building. I love growth. I love discovering what I am capable of when I go all in. You can too. I am no different. I don't have a degree in computer science, a trust fund, a portfolio of connections in high places. All I had was a laptop, an internet connection, and a passion to change my life. If you have all three, then you have everything you need to begin. The question is, will you? Your 1 year from now self is depending on the choices you make today. What are you going to do? You can continue down the same old road, getting the same old result. You know the saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. I think you are. I think you can do this. The process is simple. Not easy, mind you, but simple. And simple done consistently always beats complicated done occasionally every time. Now, begin today. Not tomorrow. Today. Take one small step towards achieving your dreams. Send one message. Publish one post. Offer one solution. Just begin. The way from where you are to where you want to go isn't mysterious. It's walked by thousands every day. People who aren't smarter or more talented than you. Just people who decided to begin and didn't quit. Join them. Join us. Oh. Let's make the next year your year. Your $100,000 year. Your year that proves you are capable of anything you set your mind to. This is your sign. This is your permission slip. This is your wake-up call. Stop scrolling. Stop consuming. Stop preparing. Start doing. Start now. Your future self will thank you. I promise. Annie.